pencils over here.
True enough. That's mostly.
All right, I think we actually have full sound and everything like that, so
Cool.
that's pretty exciting. Oh, that looks weird. Let's shift that just a little bit. There we go.
You got about a 1 second delay.
Yeah. So you got to remember, there's always delay, which is okay. So that way, if we need to edit something,
There's no way. There's nothing we're gonna edit.
Edit for her.
You
I mean,
never.
it's true. I don't know how she's raised.
exactly.
You don't know. You never know. So we are currently flying on. Does anybody remember the name of the ship?
Mastigo.
Oh. No.
It's something red.
Nope,
No, that's Margaret the Red.
Okay, it's
Margaret the Red on the Red Revenge. Yeah.
But no, we're flying. I want to say it's like a Latin name, but I don't think it is.
Oh, no, our ships?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, crud. I wrote this down, I think.
All right.
Can I make it up?
So
No, it's got a name.
Wasn't it Steven?
it is Stephen.
It's Steven.
The name of the ship is Stephen. Many people mistake Stephen, the name, for the name of the captain, who is a Kenku, who has never been able to fully communicate his name.
That's a weird ship name.
It is a weird ship name. That's why it's
That's
like
the
that.
point.
Yep, it's kind of the point. Let's go ahead and do some introductions since we are at that point. We have our esteemed guest. We'll go ahead and go ahead and introduce yourself and your character.
I'm Tommy, and I get to be the mastermind behind Whisperian Wraithwind, a fairy monk.
Fairy
death
monk. Yes, and it turns out that when you're fighting skeletons, having somebody that does bludgeoning damage is quite a decisive game changer.
Right.
Yes, so we got that going for you. All right, what else we got?
Hi, I'm David, and I'm playing Trier-S, and I am an elf rogue who is subclassing now into Arcane Trickster.
And have you gotten some of those? You got those stats built out for yourself?
I do.
Yeah, that's
So,
fine.
like, yeah, I think
You don't
the
need.
only
I don't need to have them as long as you got them.
Yeah, so I'll put them into that new one, but the big things, and I think this is what we were talking about right now, is I haven't selected my second cantrip for being an Arcane Trickster.
Okay.
What's your first one? Mage Hand?
No, Mage Hand comes
Mage
automatically.
Hand comes automatic,
And
and it's
then-
invisible as an Arcane Trickster. So it has.
But it was something blast.
Blasoo.
No.
Wouldn't have access to that.
No,
it was Chill Touch, wasn't it?
Chill Touch.
Chill Touch, because that does. It's effective against undead.
I wrote that down somewhere as well.
Yeah, so if you hit somebody with, if you hit one of the undead with Chill Touch, they don't get an action, or anybody you hit with Chill Touch isn't able to regain any hit points until the end of your next turn, and if it hits undead, I believe they now have disadvantage.
One more cantrip, but as Nick said last time,
You can develop that up.
I can, like, as we're playing the game,
That's awesome.
Decide.
Hey, this is what I wanted to have my second cantrip until I level up.
Yep, but once it's decided, it's then locked in until you have the opportunity to be able to change it with leveling or whatever it is that there's the.
But as of right now, I have Minor Illusion, Mage Hand. I can speak with animals 3 times a day.
Yes, you can.
So I'm pretty decent for right now.
Sounds good. And we have Leilani also joining us as a guest. We'll see how long she's able to maintain concentration on this math rock game. Leilani, do you know what the name is of the character that you're going to be subbing in as? Trevor.
Close.
Trevor, the almost 9. That is who Trevor is, and he is a wielder of a very large sword that also is possessed by the spirit of his grandfather, who was a Death Knight. So you have a lot of power behind your swing because your grandfather fights with you. Please don't hit any of the other players. Why did I give you a giant sword?
All right.
Okay.
Dave's got like a dexterity 6. Just gonna eat it in the face every time. Guys, I don't like this anymore.
All right. So traveling on the airship, Stephen, and while
And I think
moving.
you still think we can take them all, right?
Well, knowing what I know about Trevor, yes. But I mean, as your character or as a person, would you feel comfortable sending a 9-year-old across to a pirate ship covered in skeletons?
No.
We haven't even seen Margaret the Red yet.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's where my inclination would be to figure out how we can cut and run. I think we overheard last time.
Cannons.
Margaret said something about the coin.
Oh, that's right.
So yes, our ship has cannons that we haven't really been using, which we need to.
And the coin's like a tracker.
Yes. And so there was an implication that maybe we could use this to help target someone, but that would mean we have to defeat all of them first.
I want to.
So our options are we throw the coin and hope to God we can get away, but the problem is we're kind of stuck to them. So how do we get the coin away so they can't track us? So that's one option is we get rid of the coin and figure out a way to run away where they can't track us. But they're attached. So I don't know how the hell we would run away.
But we've been doing a good job of taking the lines off every time they come up.
I can't remember how many lines we have right now.
That works pretty effectively for the first 2 rounds, but now all of them have started to gather their own lines, and so they have a greater action economy. They can throw more lines than you can possibly take off. So they will start being able to swing over now, as opposed to just attaching.
How many of the skeletons have we killed?
You have killed 1.
All right, and there's how many on our ship currently?
There is 1 dead one and 1 live one.
Okay.
Can I fight the live one?
Yes, you can.
Yay.
But you'll have to wait until it's your turn.
What if we split this up? You're gonna go man the cannons while I keep.
Absolutely.
So one thing I did mention in the chat that there was cannons, right? But you don't currently see cannons on the ship. Also, cannons would be like the cannons that have been shot at you from the Red Revenge, are arcane in nature, and it would have been one of the things that the customs people were searching for, is to see whether you had unauthorized evocation magic, which they mentioned, right?
Right.
Hey, you can't. Gotta know something.
The captain does know something. The captain didn't just run to go hide, but did.
I have a question.
I have an answer.
Let's see if they match.
Wait, are you coming over to whisper it at me?
What are these things?
Those things are skeleton minotaurs. Yes, so they are.
Do you know what a minotaur is? Would you like me to show you?
I can.
It's in the middle of the maze.
True.
So I can. Here, I'll give you control for your being able to move that around if you need to.
Minotaur looks like.
Oh, we're good.
But this one has been turned into a skeleton minion.
Their top half is of a bull and like the bottom half is like a man.
So they look kind of.
See how that would be like the skeleton of one of those?
Nasty. So if you want to go ahead and click off of that. So yeah, they look pretty scary. But you know who's a lot scarier?
Mm.
Yes, Trevor the almost 9 is actually much scarier.
So he's 8 years old?
Oh,
Wait, how
What do I do?
can you control my ship? No. No grabbing of the ship and moving it around.
There's Trevor. Almost.
Oh,
dead.
I see what happened. Ugh.
How are we gonna get to the other side?
Hold on a second. We need to.
Now, and I do have a stupid question.
That's not. There's no such thing as stupid question. Only stupid people.
The Star Trek Wrath the Khan problem. So how can their ship? I get how their ship can hit us, right? Because they technically had the high ground. They came in above us.
Yeah.
Now I don't know how their cannons work. I mean, I'm assuming they can point theirs down.
Yeah, they're
Could our
on
cannons even hit them if we wanted to?
It would be much easier with a ballista, you know, that would aim up a little bit more, or a catapult. But yes, the cannons are on the side, right?
Yeah, but
so
can we angle them up enough that we would hit them? Because again, if I can just tilt them this much and the ship is up here, I'm going underneath it the whole time.
So civilian ships
I'm asking,
are not supposed to have cannons on them.
Okay, so we're not supposed to have cannons, which is why it's all a big secret. Okay.
Yep. It's to be actually we'll just go ahead, and if you want to click off of that, we'll just go ahead and reveal it now. There's a growing storm that has started to come in. You know, there was always the creaking of the standard creaking of a ship because of it being made out of wood, but now you're being tousled back and forth by these high winds, and now you have this large looming ship that seemed to appear out of the darkening clouds that have started to move around the ship.
What kind of ship is
it? It is a galleon size ship, so it's much larger than the freighter that you're on there, the small frigate, but it is populated by the clattering of these skeleton warriors. One thing I wanted you to do too is go ahead and, for both of the players, and we're gonna have Trevor do one as well. Go ahead and roll a d20. This is for a perception check.
I got
Perception.
12.
You got 17.
Yeah, you got a 12.
12?
I got a 12.
All right. So, and what did you get, Dave? You haven't rolled yet.
Rolled yet.
Okay.
I'm opening my little bag of dice.
He got the.
And I rolled an 18.
Oh boy.
Plus, I have what's perception?
Yeah.
I have a pretty good perception modifier. Plus 5.
I have a question.
So 24.
Hold on 1 second.
What are these dice for?
For damage. All right, or for other things. So, as you've been scrambling about, taking these ropes off that have been thrown at you, there was the skeleton that came aboard, and actually this solely does apply to you and to Trevor.
Me.
So, Tyrus, I said that this world is small, so the likelihood that you come into a bar, even in another city, and recognize somebody that you went to school with, or that works at the drugstore that you picked up a prescription from, that when you had a cold, that you recognize it's kind of almost like a small town kind of feel, right?
Absolutely.
Even though they are skeletons, the skeleton warrior that Tommy just took down, you recognize as being somebody that used to come to your dad's shop often.
Okay.
Not a warrior, not a bad individual. Did do some work in shipping and things like that, but not a pirate. And then as you start to look over at other people, these skeletons, there's at least 4 of them that look familiar enough that they might have been people that you know. And in looking at them, the attire that they are wearing, these are not individuals dressed in armor or in your typical pirate-like attire, or having a pirate-like appearance. They seem to be just folks, except that they are murderous, and they are holding scimitars, and they are acting as pirates.
Ow.
While you are examining this, you also hear the whirring of mechanism within Stephen, and up toward the front of the ship, in the from this small hatchway here, you do see Kenku's head, the Kenku captain's head, start to appear as that hatch opens up, and he is seated on top of a cannon-like device that can traverse quite well.
Oh, I know.
Here's the thought for a second. So, Kenku.
That's his race, but you're essentially saying
what's his name?
You're essentially saying the white guy, but that's fine.
That's what I do all the time. He's survived all these attacks. This can't be the first time where this has happened to him. So my inclination is to stay and fight for a while, only because if he could survive, then there's a chance that we did. So he's figured out a way to get these skeletons off of him that we're not aware of. That's my theory right now.
All right.
Is because again, if this isn't the first time it's happened, he's gone and done this trip and his crew hasn't come back, right? So he's had to have had this encounter before, and the ship has survived it. Because this ain't the first. This isn't Stephen the second. It's just Stephen. So I'm saying there's a chance we survive this encounter. So let's keep. I say we keep fighting, even though these looks like people. Hey, they're dead to me now.
Yep, but you also have noticed that there are several areas of Stephen on the main deck that have been stained with blood,
I ain't playing.
and nick marks of scimitars.
Oh boy.
You're bored? You're out?
All right. Well, hey, it was nice meeting you.
Nice
Hey,
meeting ya.
that took a lot longer than I thought. Good job.
I get that, but we've got a death knight, and I'm assuming they probably didn't before.
Yeah.
Except we don't know.
Trevor,
that we
you
really
you
have a
saw
death
you
knight.
saw Trevor's face. This is the first time he's been on a flying ship. He's pretty super stoked about it.
I think I've figured out a little bit of what he is by this point. Just from,
I would
he's
say
already-
that I would
he's
say that
already-
while he is standing there, you actually watch as this shadowy figure starts to appear behind him, and just like in the photo that
he's taken an action already, right?
he did, and while he was taking that action, that's when you start to see this billowing creature kind of appear behind him and is almost guiding his sword as he is sliding.
So I personally feel we kind of know what he is, and we know that this kid's a lot more than what is just a dopey kid in armor, and we kind of knew that, but now we know that. So I say we keep fighting.
All right.
Let's see what we're doing. So that is the action of the Kenku. He has risen up from his
Box of holding.
His box, yes, and has and is it wasn't actually a box of holding. He disappeared into the side of the ship, right? But there are actually essentially like tunnel ways inside of the walls of the ship that he moved through and had hidden himself in, but also wants to have them say hello to his little friend. All right. So we have some skeletons that take some attacks. They have seen, though, what happens when they go over. So the next few skeletons are going to attempt to strategically start to shoot. So first person, I'm going to just go back and forth at you, Dave, or at Tiger Ass, and at Whisperin', and then at Trevor. So does a 9 does not hit, correct? No, it does not. All right, next. 16 hits. Miss?
Oh, 16 does hit. Barely.
Barely. All right, we'll barely do some damage then.
All right, let's do this.
All right, so you take 8 damage.
All right, hold on. I can do...
You can do some
I can
monkey
do
stuff.
something monkey.
Some monkey business.
What is it? Where is it? Deflect.
Yeah,
Fairy magic.
Yep. So
E.
essentially, you are able to. It's not the
No, I don't
deflect
think it's
attacks.
printed
Yep.
on here.
And then you are able to
Here, I'll just look on here.
reduce damage. If you reduce the damage all the way to 0, then you can actually redirect the attack.
All right.
I would like to see an arrow caught and thrown back.
What am I looking at here? All right.
So you have
level 3. Oh, come on, man.
What'd you get?
Nothing yet.
He's got like an icy screen.
Got an icy screen.
It literally is Christmassy.
Actions. There we go.
I don't understand why, but
Flurry of blows. Patient defense. No.
Deflect attack.
Deflect attack. When an attack roll that includes bludgeoning, pierce, and slashing hits you, you can reduce damage by 1d10 plus 6.
There you go.
So 13.
13. So you completely reduce the amount of damage, and now,
You want to use the focus point.
I believe
We're early on.
Yeah, because you're using one focus point.
No, it's just a reaction.
Oh my gosh, it's just your reaction.
Yeah, I'm just gonna block it.
Okay.
Hold on.
All right, sounds good. So you block it and take no damage.
I can live with that.
All right. Next one makes its attack against Trevor. It does not hit.
yeah, that one I could tell you. I looked at his stats enough.
Oh yeah, no.
That ain't hit.
Trevor wins this by himself.
Pretty much. That's what I'm hoping for.
Oh wow, that all so close to being a. All right, 18. Does that hit you?
Absolutely.
Tire your ass.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's go ahead and see what kind of.
So they're shooting arrows at us now?
They're shooting arrows at you rather than coming across. But luckily, we have a small amount of damage, so only 5 damage. They rolled a 1 on their damage die.
So I got 5 points of damage?
5 points of damage to you.
Jeebus.
Yep. Yeah. Don't worry. You get one more. You get one more try at them.
Jiva saves. Everybody else rolls for damage.
True enough. True enough.
All right. Does a 16 hit?
Did last time.
It did last time, so let's go ahead and do it again. But you don't have a reaction this time.
Oh, son of a monkey.
Yep. Oh, and this time he
10?
rolled his full 6, so 10 points of damage.
I'm down to 23.
What does the monk look like when an arrow sticks into him? Because just imagine, with how you are the size of a man's or a flying cat, as far as weight.
Like a big cat.
Like a big
Maine
cat.
Coon.
It's a Mancoon, right?
Right.
But it's got an arrow sticking out of it.
Yeah. No.
Or does it just?
I'm gonna say that it pierced right in my shoulder.
Yeah.
So.
And
It's
does he
still
just?
really big as fuck.
Yeah. Does he take? Does he even acknowledge it, or does it?
I'm a monk.
Yeah, exactly. All right. I just want to make sure. All right. Next one's coming at Trevor. Trevor, the almost 10. Where did my reroll go? Attack. No.
What?
Does not hit. All
I
right.
call shenanigans. I've been hit twice. One time for full damage. Surprised it wasn't a crit.
And that one was like a 3, which would not have even hit any of us.
Okay, 15 for
Me?
tire your ass.
Yeah.
Can I try and dodge one?
If you would have taken the dodge action, you could. But you do have a reaction, I believe, of uncanny dodge where you can reduce the damage like you did, right?
Let me look.
No, but this is still at level 2. It's the only kicker.
Well, now I'm on level 3, but I don't have. That's not updated on the
Right.
sheet.
So I have the updated stats. Cunning action, got that. Sneak attack, got that. What? There's an.
I don't think I got a whole lot for going up to level 3.
No, I think you might have more than you think.
Where is features?
Because I don't have a whole lot of hit points to begin with.
No, you sure don't.
Yeah, you don't have dodge yet. Sorry.
Alright. Well, I do have dodge. I don't have the whatever dodge you were talking about.
Right. Uncanny dodge, where you can use your reaction to
So
reduce.
how much damage am I taking?
Let's find out together. You are taking. We already did this, so I don't need to do this again.
Yeah, no, that's rude. Rolling a d20 on damage.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that would be angry.
I'm not doing that.
Turns out
All right.
Dan's a dick.
6 though. So.
So I'm.
That's
But
10.
this is a lesser. What did I do? Oh, I did a melee weapon attack. Let's go ahead and roll the ranged attack, and if it's less, it's less. If it's not, we keep the 8. There we go. All right, 6 points of damage.
Down to 7? No.
Down to 8. Because I'm at 13.
You're at 13, or
I'm
because
at
that's
13.
at level 2.
Yeah. So when I
Okay.
leveled up, I got to 18. My last hit took 5 damage.
Okay.
Now I'm back
Okay.
down to 13, so I just had to erase where I was at. So now I just took how many damage?
6.
So again, that puts me at 7.
Sevensies.
Okay. All right, so it is Trevor, the almost 10. Do you have an action that you would like him to take, or do you have access to that information, or you want me to decide what he does?
You pick it, man. You're the leader.
We're gonna have your 7-year-old daughter do it. So
All right,
I'll let
what
you.
she has decided to do is to do a Hellfire Orb, which she is only able to do, or he is only able to do once per day.
She's a lot better at this than us.
Probably, yeah.
And-
That's why my goal is to run underneath the decks in here the next turn.
So this is the individuals that are going to need to do a. I don't know if you can see it. You can go ahead and move down a little bit, but he shoots an orb of light and almost hits. Margaret the Red as well. But that does not save. Let's go ahead and get some others. Can I select and grab these individuals?
Why the hell is he so dressy tonight? He wore a tie.
I see that.
I was put in this tie. All right, so they all fail their dexterity saving throw, and this is how much damage they take. So, with that amount of damage,
Like we're playing 40K.
they are all dead. So you watch as this massive orb of energy
What happened?
launches out of Trevor's sword and lobs up onto the ship, and then just
It'll be nice one stuff.
oh nice, and just detonates in this huge arc of necrotic energy that instantly takes out all of these individuals. And that is when
I'm still going underneath the decks and be like, you guys figure this out.
Margaret.
Everybody took damage though, so it took out all the skeletons, including the minotaurs.
No, it just took out the. If you scan over, it was just in a circle
Okay.
that he had targeted.
So
He was
a lot of them are done.
A lot of the individuals that have been launching arrows at you are done. It did not hit the minotaurs because they haven't been. He was essentially like, don't mess with my friends, and shot at the ones that had shot you, and hit you, and
So-
shot at the ones that had hit you.
My hope is that cause Margaret, if she has half a brain, to be like, I don't know if I can win this fight. If more than half her crew just got wiped out.
All right. Let me see what I've got for.
Because is that what happened?
Five of her crew
We
Just
still
got
haven't
wiped out
we
with-
still haven't even taken out half.
with one shot, right? So 6 of her crew of about 14 are now down, but she is the strongest of her crew, and we don't really know how well how she feels about her crew. So that is Trevor's turn. And now it is one of the Minotaur Skeletons crew.
Come on across.
Yeah, you watch as Margaret, watching this happen, looks at one of the Minotaur Skeletons and is like, I want that sword. And he's like, yes, my lady. And jumps off of the ship and lands down on top of it.
I mean, if they're above us, that makes sense.
And strikes out at
Trev money.
Trev Money.
Ooh.
Hits Trev Money.
Yeah, you got you dick. I've seen Trev money's stats.
Do I get an attack of opportunity
If he moves away, yes.
Okay.
But not when he moved in. All right, and so that does 18 points of damage to our boy Trevor. So he is
Down
He
to
is
what,
down-
132?
he is down 1%. All right, that is the
blood pool mean?
Oh.
Okay.
Those are all special rules, man.
yeah, and I'm not using the rules directly from that. I just made him a Death Knight. That's what I did. All right, the skeleton's dead. Kenku's turn. So the captain cries out, "Holy fuck! What was that?"
He knows those words?
Because he's heard it before. Can you? You can't see that right now, can you? Okay.
Is his only action to yell? Because that's sad.
No, it was not. It was to.
He's got
You watch.
strong feather phalanges.
You watch as there is a sparking and then a sizzle, and then the most deafening roar. Everyone, go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw. The DC is 17.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm not winning that one.
Oh, I did it! I got an 18.
18.
I got an 8
Yay me.
plus 3.
I don't
I
want to
got
take
an
any.
11.
I don't want to take any more damage.
Oh no, you wouldn't have taken damage. That was to identify whether or not that you were temporarily deafened.
But I'm not. Woo!
You are not at this time.
Huh?
Exactly. I have no idea how that worked, but it worked.
Well, if that's Seabass over there.
Okay, I didn't need to do that, but I guess
He rolled a 20. He critically hit the other ship. It's gonna break apart now.
okay, for 115 damage. It hits the ship, but it also hits the entirety of the crew as well. It is a area effect weapon.
Woo!
So you watch as this giant explosion happens at the cannon. You're like, oh my gosh, that was... And then the round hits, and boom, and all of these bomblets just start detonating in these spectacular colors. And there is the whiff of that same sulfuric smell that you smelt in Board the Blacksmiths, and you realize though that this wasn't magic. This was something else. Go ahead and roll a history check for you
Do we both roll or just?
Nope, just
16.
16. So, in your travels, in the amount of time that you have been roaming around in Faerun, you've heard of black powder, and this has the similar properties of, because the guns that are in this world are all based off of just, except for the one that freaking Ricky Spanish had. So because of also looking over at that gun that Ricky Spanish has, you see that this is almost like a much larger version of it. As soon as he fires that shot, he also says, "That's it." Starts going down because that's the only thing that cannon could do. But the ship is on fire, and all of the skeletons that were on the ship are gone. You do not see right now in the flames and in the smoke of the ship what is happening to Margaret the Red.
What about the second Minotaur?
Second Minotaur, he is safely on board. So
Not any
No.
longer.
The second, what happened to the Minotaur that was still on Margaret's ship?
he is on a flaming ship and just got hit with 117 points of
So he's dead too.
damage. He has 67 hit points. If he makes his save, he'll receive only half damage. So there's the possibility that he might still have. Let's go ahead and have him make his save.
That's what I'm wondering. Because if it's just Margaret and two more skeletons, we might have a fighting chance here.
Well, I'm going to go headlong into that Minotaur.
Oh yeah, he made it.
Anyway,
It's like I said, it's really difficult to.
115,
It's really difficult to.
14, so 57.
It's really
so you got 10.
it's very difficult to see what has transpired in the attack that just happened.
But he's still walking. We can see that.
And what is amazing about is the placement of where that round hit, because it hit like on the mast and then exploded into these bomblets, and then all of the bomblets came down. Usually it would have hit in one spot and then it wouldn't have been able to have as much of a devastating effect. I mean, it still would have been devastating, but it was the most effective shot that thing could have made. So now there is just the one skeleton. So it is tie your ass. You have a turn right now with the Minotaur skeleton standing next to you. Oh wait, yeah, it's a Minotaur skeleton standing next to you.
Can I disengage and go after the little one?
Yes. All right, so you're going to move away as your bonus action, and then move back. Do you want to get? Are you like looking to get like there, or are you looking to get right up on him and stab him?
Shove him off the boat.
That's going to be a strength check.
No, I will try and stab him.
Okay, or you can use some of your magic.
Can I move and then magic hand shove him off the boat?
Not mage hand. No, mage hand doesn't. Mage hand is kind of a is like asking Rocco to go and pick something up. He can go and pick it up, but he can't do.
Can I do another chill touch?
Yeah, absolutely.
What do I need to do for chill touch?
Roll d20.
See if I hit.
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna roll that because it bounced out. 13, does that hit?
A 13. Let's see what your spell casting modifier is.
Would that be
I believe
intelligence?
it is intelligence. I'm just trying to.
Plus 3,
Oh,
so
I don't
it'd be
have any of that
16.
stuff. 16?
Yeah.
Yep. Wait, 16?
Yes.
Because you have plus 3,
Yes.
and you also have the plus 2 for your proficiency.
Okay.
So yes, it definitely hits. Go ahead and roll the damage, which is a d8, plus your intelligence modifier. Or no, just a d8, sorry.
Okay. 5.
5 points of damage. All right. So he is, at that point, not looking good. He's still got some of his bones about him, but looks discombobulated now. So if he tries to do something, he's going to be at disadvantage. So, all right. Dead. Wisperian.
All right, I'm gonna bum rush the Minotaur.
You step over the
I fly
cracked.
over.
Yeah.
He
No,
flutters.
there's no stepping.
There's no stepping.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
So what is that? About 15 feet?
Yep.
I can move 40, so I should be able to go and hit him. Well, and attack, and I'll still have my bonus action, right?
Yep.
Okay, let's do this. Well, let's just roll. 12.
12 does it.
Okay.
And if there was going to be more, it still does it.
All right. 1d6 plus 3, 3, 6 on the first one.
6 points of damage on the first one?
Yep.
Okay.
And I'm going to do Flurry of Blows.
I would recommend it.
And Flurry of Blows gives me, I think, 2 more.
Yes, it does. Flurry of Blows gives you 2 more, yes.
Okay, cool. 8, what's my plus? 8, 13.
13 hits.
Okay, and the other one, 7.
7 to hit.
7 to hit.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah,
So
okay. All right, 6, 3, 9 more.
9 more. All right.
A bludgeoning power.
You watch the Minotaur stagger back as he's like, oh, you little things. Imagine how disorienting it is to be a large creature and suddenly have a fairy come over and start punching you.
It's like an angry cat.
And it's hurting. So he is confused. He is fighting a 9-year-old boy and a small flying winged man, and he is getting his butt kicked by it. All right, so we move on. Dead skeleton, dead skeleton, dead skeleton, dead skeleton, dead skeleton, dead skeleton, and Trevor almost 10 is going to go ahead and multi-attack at the Minotaur, which means he gets to make 3 fucking longsword attacks. All right. 27.
Why is everybody else rolling so damn good?
27 hits.
It's a little ridiculous.
He does have a plus 11 to hit. All right. So he makes those 2 attacks and
Those
does
have been really good rolls, though, either way.
Yeah. 6 plus 176.
apply that to the damage number 2. Apply, and he's going to take his last attack. Let's see if we can get a crit in there. That'd be fun. All right, and damage.
So essentially, if he, hey, look at that. That's max. Well,
18 points of damage. So we are looking at what a kind young man. I mean, he's swinging his grandfather's sword. He has the backing of a epic level warrior within him, but he knows that he's a sidekick, so he should leave this large enemy with 1 hit point left, so that way somebody else can finish him off. We go once around the ring. We have not seen Margaret come from the smoking hull that is her ship yet, but
It's not shooting at us anymore. Right?
it's not shooting at you anymore, and it is definitely on fire.
All right.
And it looks like it has, and luckily it's on fire because it is starting to break apart, and you watch as one of the holds around the lapis stone that is actually holding it aloft starts to burn away, and the lapis stone starts to shoot up into the air as it breaks free of what was actually holding it in place. Um, and so it is starting to come down. But because it's on fire too, it's nice that the ropes that are attaching to your ship um, are also on fire. So hopefully that fire deteriorates the ropes enough that there's no chains. Yeah, there's no
Right.
chains, so that's nice. They don't have the they didn't have the forethought to contact the Grecian and get it from the Greek and get some good chains that would have been more fire resistant. Would have drug you down into the hillside along with them in a flaming wreckage. But they are definitely starting to go down, and you do hear the screech of Margaret, who says, "My old friend, once more." And um, you hear a kind of screeching howl, and the Minotaur turns, um, kind of in a look of concern. But before he can finish whatever thought that he's having about concern for his captain, Tyre asks you get a turn to do something either with the skeleton or with the Minotaur skeleton. Now it's the question of what kind of a leader are you? Are you the leader that says,
I'm gonna go.
"Look how I have defeated this large monster"?
I'm gonna go after the skeleton. That's
Ah.
closest to me.
How gracious!
Yeah.
So you
Am
got
I
a plus.
close enough that I can do 2 dagger attacks, or am I?
Yeah, you can move up and do two dagger attacks for sure.
He doesn't have that many hit points left, right?
Correct.
All right.
You aren't able to get sneak attack though, unless you wait. Oh, go ahead.
Does a 14 hit?
14 does hit. And then go ahead and roll your second attack just so we can get that out of the way, and then roll your damages.
Does a 10 hit?
A 10 does not hit. So go ahead and roll your 1d4 plus 3. Right, because that's what your dex modifier is, right? Plus 3.
Plus 2.
Plus 2.
So I got 4 damage on him.
4 damage.
He's not out yet, though, probably.
He's not looking good.
He's on death's door.
But
Again.
what I'm going to have you do, though, is roll 2d6.
Got a 4 and a 2.
4 and a 2, which is 6 points of damage. Right? So, little did you know as a player, but your character is much smarter than you are. Right? So, what happened is that while the Minotaur is looking off and the skeleton's like, "Is that our captain?" You slip around the back side of this mast, putting yourself out of ice line of sight, and then like do a scurry type of crawl up to the skeleton. Go ahead and roll a d20 and add your stealth modifier.
So I got 15 plus 4 was 19.
19. All right, his passive perception is 9. You are fucking invisible.
Okay.
And your attacks would have been able to happen at advantage. But it's okay, because with that advantage also came sneak attack, which gives you that extra 2d6, which has devastated the monster. It falls screaming into the abyss.
I didn't know that it looked away.
No, it didn't look away. It didn't have to.
Okay.
You're just so sneaky.
You went around.
Okay.
You went
You're
around
just so
Because-
sneaky.
because you weren't directly on him, right? When you started.
Okay. That I thought he had direct line of sight on me.
He does have direct line of sight. So if instead of going directly at him, you jump behind something that you can disrupt that line of sight from,
Okay.
you then could do a bonus action stealth, and then when you come back at him, you now have advantage, and you have sneak attack,
Okay.
which is
I
what
will-
you decided to do, right?
Exactly.
I-
Yes.
I thought so.
100%.
So that takes him out. Whisperian.
Ooh.
It's Trevor almost 10's turn, and he looks to you, salutes, and steps back.
Aw, thanks, Trev.
Did you just roll a nat one?
No,
Please say,
no, 4. It was a 4.
Okay.
So a 9.
A 9 does not hit.
But I can do Flurry of the Blow. Flurry of Blows.
Flurry of blows it.
There's a 10, so 15 and 12.
All right, so both the 15 and the 12 hit.
All right.
Are you going to do more than 1 damage?
Yeah, dude. That's
That's
16.
And toppling antlers over hooves, he falls out as well. Against what you thought would be audacious odds, you are you find yourself fully good. You've defeated the Margaret the Red. She does have that wanted poster, right? So you can go and try to cash in on that later. But you're also haunted by the idea of what she said, and actually,
Do I know? Like my character, does he know? Like it was the coin that allowed him.
Go ahead and do an investigation check with advantage.
Oh, shit.
Roll twice.
Yep. Roll twice and take the bigger one.
Well, neither one was good. Fuck.
That's okay.
7 plus investigation, so I got a 10.
A 10?
Yeah.
All right. So what information is your character going off of? Like, what information does
Well,
they have?
I know we heard her say something about the coin.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm inferring that the coin. That's my inference right now.
And where did the coin come from?
Came from the guards who gave us this. Well, no, we found it.
They planted it underneath one of the.
And we found it,
crates.
and we kind of know that it came from these guards who hid it on one of the crates.
Yeah, and there's the possibility of if it was the guards that knew that it was there, or planted it there, or because it could have been where he was about to bend down and just pick it up. Because from what I remember, your insight check wasn't
horrible.
Wasn't horrible, but it wasn't like fully locked in.
Right.
So there is still that but it was definitely that there was that this was placed by someone.
Where is Maggie Roja? Maggie the Red.
She
went down.
Went down with a ship.
Oh.
And what is it that she said?
She said something like,
"You got me again,"
or something. My good friend.
Yep. So Kenku speaks. I was like, and you hear in her voice, "I'll be back, bitch." He's heard "bitch" quite a few times.
So he's been in this situation before.
Right.
He's gotten out of it. This isn't the first time Margaret's encountered him, and neither is it the first time he's encountered Margaret. It's the first time his crew lived to tell the tale.
Why do you always live? Bitch. I don't know how to play Kenku. I'm just doing what I would want to do.
Yeah, that's why I'm just kind of following along there.
All right. So we're still in one piece.
You're still in one piece, but there is damage to the ship.
Did we level up?
Do we have enough? Do we have enough? Are we in good enough shape to get the shipment to where it needs to be?
Actually, you had just started to. You weren't too far outside of Anthrop, the city. So it seems like Kenku, the Kenku captain is is turning the ship around and coming back toward Anthrop just to be able to check. He's frantically moving around, checking to make sure that everything's good. As you can imagine, getting shot with a cannon, you'd like to check things out and not try to do repairs mid-flight. So rather than continuing to head straight, which is going to be about a day's journey, it would be only a couple hours to get back to Anthrop.
So we were like kind of halfway between Gale Force and Anthrop, maybe not quite halfway.
Oh, much less than halfway.
All right, so I think going back.
You
Anthrop,
weren't outside of that of the ring. That
I think going back and getting a nice long rest is not a bad idea while we
Sure.
check out the chip.
okay.
Heal up and
So you start to come into the
I want to know about this reward.
to the
I don't think we get an award because
For Maggie the Red?
I don't think she's not dead. We don't have any proof that we got.
We
her.
got that coin that she used to track us.
All right. So there's two things we got to debate. Do we keep the coin and try and plan it on somebody else, knowing that Maggie's going to take a little while to rebuild her ship and whatever crew she has, or we hand it over to an authority and let them know that this is how we were tracked? But I would only want to do that with.
Yeah, let's meet in the middle and give it to.
Well, I would give it to Eliza, but she's
Yeah.
not here.
Yeah.
She's in She's in our original town.
Dano.
So
Reno.
I don't know that I trust the people of Anthrop enough to just randomly hand this over.
I mean, if you get a good feeling on them, we could do a perception check or insight.
We can try that.
We can use your good brains.
Can I get my long rest though to get my hit points back?
you really want the yeah, you can
Before we go anywhere, can we just long rest?
well, I mean, you can short rest, which is going to be, like I said, it's going to be 2 hours to get back, and you can do that on the ship,
Okay.
and then you can expend.
What do I get for a short rest?
You get to expend any of your hit die, which so you have something called hit dice. So you
Right.
get one for every level that you are, and so that was the original. Let me look at your character sheet. I'll tell you. So it's different depending on different classes. So for a
D6.
rogue,
3d6.
it is you have 3d6, right?
Well, no, 3d8. So like
Yeah,
my,
D8.
My hit dice is d8, but if I
Yep.
went up to level 3, it should be 3d8, right?
Correct. Yep.
All right. So you got this.
So I just need to roll for a short rest. How many do I roll?
You can roll up to all of them, but you can roll one at a
Oh.
time. You can roll one at a time too.
So I was down at 7, so I should keep in mind on that.
Yep. Okay, so go ahead and roll a d10 or d8.
And I got 6 back,
Okay.
which would get me back up to 13.
Okay. And you want to do another one?
2. Yeah, I do. Just because.
Yep.
The character.
But I don't think that you need to roll the third one because you won't. Because
And I got another 6 back. So 13. That put me at full hit points, right?
Yep.
Yep. So,
Put you 19, yeah.
well, no, I
but
don't-
you only have 18 that you can get to. Yeah, you don't get to go over. So being able to, and you can expend some hit dice if you want to as well.
Now, how do temporary hit points work? Because if I kill
Temporary
something,
hit points work that
I get +6.
yes. So those are essentially, if you think about like it being a force field, that gets
Okay.
hit first, but it also goes away.
Okay.
So it's not there permanently. So that's the first thing that would have gotten.
Or-
So that's the first thing that would have come off. And you had 6 temporary hit points, right?
Right. And
So-
then I got another 6 at the end, but then that's pretty much wasted now.
Yep.
But 6, so I had 10 points. So really I got 4 points at 27, so 23. I'm fine.
Would say that with the that temporary hit points thing, especially when you've got a bunch of
This whole
minions, that helps
whole
with
reason I did the
yeah.
class, man.
Yep.
It'll
As
be,
long as
it'll be fun, but I can still tank.
yeah, well yeah, but not 1v1 versus the big bad evil guy. mostly like I would like to. I'll take against you. Hold on a second. Let me, let me
Don't
build
think
up
I
some.
did. Don't think I wasn't fighting with myself to just go across onto their ship.
Yeah, exactly. Temporary.
But my armor class isn't high enough.
I was. That's also why I wanted Kenku to do his attack, and for Trevor to do his attack before you had that opportunity, because I'm like, if they go across, they're still doing it.
Yep. Nope. It's gonna happen.
You could probably flutter away.
That's
Well,
the
he
thing.
has a good dexterity. He would have passed the dexterity saving throw, so he only would have taken like 57 hit points.
Sure.
Oh, if he would have went over there when the gun went off.
Yeah,
But afterwards, he could have gone over
yeah.
there.
Afterwards, you would.
Onto the flaming wreckage.
Right. And still fluttered away, is my point.
Well, here's the question: what happens first? Would being within 5 feet of them and getting the temporary hit points, or or the damage that caused them to die?
I think I've got to do the damage.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, it says just within 5 feet.
Oh yeah, no. That I
It's
I could have made it because it's within 5. It's 6. So but
no. You would have had
you
to be you would have had to be completely surrounded.
Yeah.
Just use them as cover.
Look, it was a great plan, and I really stand by it. But I'm okay.
It's a bold strategy, Cot. Let's see how it works out for him. So you have you're coming back into the city of Anthrope, getting a chance for a rest. As you are stopping at the dock, Kenku is moving. He's like 30 minutes, and is moving around the ship, checking things out, having somebody else check some stuff out. Sees that you guys want to get off of the ship. He's like, "How long you need?"
What do we need to do here? We need to go check to see if we can get anything off that coin.
You will get a long rest on the ship, right? So, but stopping and he can do a longer stop if he needs to.
Did we have any missions in Anthrop? I don't remember anything.
No, the only thing that you have is that your brother does live here in Anthrop.
Dude, you gotta go see family.
No, I don't. I don't like my brother.
Right.
So my inclination would be just to get back on the road and keep the coin for right now.
Okay.
While you're there though, and you do see that, oh gosh, what was the?
Because here's my inferences right now. The police are dirty.
Sure.
And we just got attacked, and we survived an attack from pirates, and they're out of commission for a while. And so if we want to get there and back, now's the time just to get there and back and figure things out afterwards.
Okay.
I don't think Margaret the Red can rebuild faster than we can get to Gale Force and back.
Yeah, especially when you aren't going to be flying back. You'll be able to use the teleportation rings.
Yeah. So I think we've completed our first mission.
Let's just get her done then.
Let me ask you. Go ahead and do an Arcana check. So that's going to be if you're proficient in it, it'll be your intelligence plus your proficiency bonus modifier.
So 4. Pretty sure that's 4.
Sounds about right.
Did not do well.
That's fine. So
so I get +3 for Arcana, and then +3 for Intelligence.
Okay.
So that 4 becomes a 10.
10.
Still not very good.
No, but you do know that there are methods of being able to stop certain types of sensing, right? Whether things that can prevent scrying or things that can prevent detection. You just don't know what would be applicable in this situation, right? But that is something that you could ask around about, and this would be a good town to do it in. So while you're thinking of that, and you're there on the pier, there's people moving back and forth. You notice something, and you're like, because it's that reaction that anybody has when they see somebody with an injury. It's like, oh, ooh, right? You just have that kind of visceral response to it, and um, it's killing me because I cannot remember the name of the young prince in Avatar that has like the flame mark on his face.
Prince
Zuko. But there
He just
is,
goes by Danny.
yeah, exactly. The
Have you even watched Avatar?
Not. But I've seen Grease. Danny Zuko.
Oh wow!
Stop. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, that was
Sandy.
I've been having a debate with somebody recently. They're like, Grease 2 is so much better than Grease. And I'm like, I'm not so sure about that.
I've known people that have that similar idea, and I also have that similar
We'll
reaction
get
to
into
them.
it right now.
We're not going to get into it.
All right.
This is
Nobody,
we see
nobody thinks of Michelle Pfeiffer.
Hey, Michelle Pfeiffer, I will say,
Pfeiffer.
I've watched 2 Michelle Pfeiffer movies recently, and damn, she was a sexy woman. Especially in Batman Returns.
Yeah.
And you know
Fair.
she does not look bad in Grease 2, and you can see it there, but man, does she vamp it up for Batman Returns.
I'm
Oh,
trying
but-
to get to the point where we take a break, so we'll be able to have time for this for the Michelle Pfeiffer debate.
Nothing's hotter than Michelle Pfeiffer.
But the flame type scar on the face, and then as you are continuing to scan around, there are several individuals that, whether on the face or on the some on the shoulder or on the hand, have burn marks on them, and they look to be injuries that have happened from a magic type of attack. So we're going to go ahead and take a 10-minute break.
I'm gonna start asking some questions around here.
I am going to mute the audio, but the camera will still be on.
All right.
I've learned my lesson from the last time, not to do that, but we need to remember to turn the
You would, I suppose, start out by fulfilling all your wishes. You could design for yourself what would be the most ecstatic life. You would move over to an adventurous dimension where there were certain dangers involved and the thrill of dealing with dangers. And you could rescue princesses from dragons and go on dangerous journeys, make wonderful explosions and blow them up. Eventually get into contests with enemies. And after you've done that for some time, you'd think up a new wrinkle to forget that you were dreaming, so that you would think it was all for real, and to be anxious about it. Because it'd be so great when you woke up. After all, what would you do if you were God? I wonder what you would do.
氏様、氏様、お言ってください。
fun.
Mhm.
What was it that you were talking about mothers about?
Well, I was just talking about my situation. We got on the topic of my tattoo, which is in honor of my mom, and,
Oh, that's very cool.
and like I said,
Your mother's not as cool as mine, but that's fine. I mean, everybody has to have one. All right.
it's a little aggressive.
Mary Tavija would help me bury a body and never say a word.
My mom might have.
Yep.
She would give me a look, but I don't think she would say anything, and she wouldn't be happy.
No. Might disapprove.
Oh, speaking of which, I got to get that.
Blindly loyal. Blindly loyal.
Thank you for the reminder. I have to get that shovel back to my mom. Totally forgot about that.
Why did you bring 14 bags of lye?
I don't know where to get lye. Who do you ask? Who do you ask about where to get lye? You
So,
ask your mom.
True story. Panama, Iowa. There was this guy, complete asshole. So his wife kills him and just puts him in the basement with a bunch of lye.
This is the kind of stories you get when you.
It's a small town, Iowa.
Sure.
Everyone knew he was an asshole. No one gave a fuck.
His name was Earl.
Probably.
The Chicks wrote a song about him.
But was just in the basement for years until somebody finally had to go down there to work on something. I was like, oh fuck, there's a dead body down here. And she probably did go to jail for it, but
Also,
is there really a song by the Dixie Chicks?
Yeah.
Goodbye, Earl.
Good, but that wasn't his
it's
name.
All about they're so two women, they're best friends. And then one gets involved with this guy, and he's just a domestic abusing asshole. Nobody likes the guy at all. And her friend lives far away, but then all of a sudden she's like, I can't do this anymore. And come in, and Earl had to die. And
That
so,
Earl
they kill him, and then they get rid of him, and then
It's one of those
kinda
female.
ask around for a little bit, and then they're like,
Eh.
Okay. I don't think in this case there was a partner. I think it was just this woman.
Sure.
But yeah.
Yeah, because that's easier. It's really hard when you start involving other people.
Yeah, less witnesses,
That's right.
from what I hear.
And fun little fact too: if like somebody breaks into your house and you shoot them, there is no law on the books that says that you have to report that shooting.
I'm not familiar with Iowa's standard ground laws.
No, actually, that was in a different state. I'll have to check Iowa. All right, so back to the city of Anthrope. So, yeah, there's kind of like this you kind of get a feel of the vibe of a lot of these people, and they just seem kind of beat down.
And they're scarred by fire magic.
Yeah.
I still kind of just want to get on the road.
We got a half hour. Let's find out about that coin.
Do we know that they're going to know anything?
Is there an artificer shop or?
Do we see anything? Let me see. Because that would be what I'm assuming we're at the docks.
Yeah,
We're
and
close
there's
to market area.
there's
If we see-
there's
if
quite a
we-
bit of market area. It's kind of that.
If we find an artificer shop, I will gladly go in.
Great.
Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do an investigation check for both of you, or you can just give the help action to one of you.
No, 7. Whoa, I might be doing all right on this one.
Yeah, because I didn't do it.
I got a 19.
Okay, so there's actually one 3 minutes away. It's a magic curiosity shop, that is run by Annabelle the Arcane, the Arcanist.
He likes alliteration, so
He
do I.
does. It's
I do
great.
too.
I love it.
Mhm.
Tommy Tavija, you kidding?
But true enough, you're walking alliteration.
My first horrible tattoo was fly fast, hit hard.
And it's actually you could, as you walk up to it though, they're just the woman is actually just starting to put the sign up, and has boxes and things like that. Like she's just opening this location.
Do you need help?
Absolutely.
Cool, I can help. I can fly.
So go ahead and do a insight check.
And once again, I rolled poorly.
Nat 20.
Nat 20. All right. So,
I had to move the pencils carefully because it was kind of on it.
The look in her eye is one of...
Wait, she only has one eye?
The look in her eyes
Oh, thank you.
is one of shock and recognition
When she sees.
when she sees the two of you.
Okay.
Both
of us or just him?
He notices it.
Okay.
It was difficult to notice.
Okay.
Right? She
Dude,
did.
That old lady is super into you.
I am not old. I'm 37. So it's a half elf woman.
She's 37 and she's a half elf? That's like
No.
a 10-year-old.
No, I was doing a line from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I'm 37. I'm not old.
I'm not old. I'm not dead yet.
But no, there's a moment of
It's like a Monty Python reference
of kind of
today.
of recognition, and you notice it. What did you get?
And I had to add by what check to it?
Your
I got a
insight.
9.
You got a 9?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she's not somebody that you've seen before.
Okay.
Do I recognize her?
No. You've met how many people in this world?
Several.
She looks...
Most are trying to kill me.
She looks like you've seen a woman that ran an apothecary, about 100 years ago that looks similar to her.
Okay.
And you're like, no.
She can't be just 37.
We're not quite open yet. But I'm just starting to get inventory put in place. Can I help you, gentlemen?
Well, I was hoping you could help me identify something. I have something and need a little help figuring out what it is.
Oh.
Can I pull out the coin and flick it?
Yeah.
Do I need to do a dexterity check?
No, you don't have to do a dexterity check for the flick. She has to do a dexterity check for...
Great.
She
You hit her good eye.
Now you see the look in her eye. She's
Now
like,
Bellatrix the Blind.
you could have handed it to me. She's like, interesting. Hold on a second. It looks fairly normal on first glance. Can we go into my... I haven't quite got anything set up yet. And she walks into the...
Yeah, I'll follow.
into the store, and you can... It like used to be a pizzeria. I mean, you can still smell some of the but things have been torn out. She has obviously just started to put things into my, like, this is her first visit to the shop with the stuff that she's starting to unload. But she walks over to a box and kicks it, and it flips open with a table that also has a magnifying glass on it, and she places the coin down and kind of looks through the magnifying glass. She's like, it'll just take about a minute. If you want to go and grab a bite, you can, or you can just wait here with me, or if you were kind gentlemen, you could help bring in some of the boxes that I have outside.
Sure.
And you see her just looking, and there is a shimmer and a glow about the inspecting lens that she's using that does seem magical in nature. You come in with a couple loads of boxes, and she says, "This."
Do we have line of sight on her the whole time?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you wanted to have line of sight on her, if you didn't even want to move away from her, yes, she is not doing anything.
As long as I can watch her the whole time, I'll help move by.
Yeah, so that she doesn't switch it out with a regular coin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just keep moving the boxes.
I would say that because of your insist, there are notches and markings that you have um, that you have identified, right?
Okay.
That so that you would be able to, but you also know that there are ways that you could make something look like something else. And so you actually, depending on how you want to do it, I mean, one effective method would be that you could stink palm it and then smell the coin to identify whether it was still, because it would be difficult to um, have it look and feel the same as the other coin, but also have the stank of.
Rub it against my balls before we got that shit.
Okay, so it has been.
Small
Write that.
price to pay for the smiting
Do
of
write
one's
do write that
enemies.
down. One coin that has been. No, no. Write that. So,
Scrotum
she's um.
Ooh, that's an alliteration.
What was it? Scrotum what?
scented.
Scrotum scented. There we go. Annabelle looks up, and this is quite an interesting piece. So it does have a locator spell in it, but it also seems to have some type of a necromancer curse. I it would take more time with it to be able to fully understand. But it is quite an interesting piece.
Curse. Is it okay to handle? Is it safe to handle?
Yes. Well, were you the one that it has curse energy on it, but this is not what was cursed. It is tied to a curse, which seems like it would be the same thing, but it's actually
It's very different.
pretty complex. Yes.
I've seen Pirates of the Caribbean. I think we're good here.
Can you turn off the location aspect?
Turn it off. Not with that. I mean, that would destroy the piece. Are you looking to because it draws in the one that was cursed? Oh, it draws the one that was so. You don't want who is cursed finding you.
Can you mask it?
I mean, anyone could mask it. You just have to buy a lead box. I actually sell. I sell those. I sell those. I'm in business. I am Annabelle. I am the Arcanist now. Yes.
How
And
much is
she-
a lead box?
I haven't even figured out pricing yet. What? Yes.
How much is it on D&D Amazon? Remember, we have that account with what's his name?
D&D Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could.
Where's our scrying crystal that we can?
You could pull that out.
Yeah, we want to
I'll
support
tell-
local business.
Yeah. How much does she want for it?
Hold on a second. Let me find out what What
lead box
a
goes
normal
for?
price would be for a.
I mean, on Krypton, those things are
I'm
invaluable.
I'm gonna go with
Well, no,
you know what? You're my
Krypton
first
itself,
customers. My first customers ever.
lead
So
doesn't matter.
I'm gonna go with 1 gold.
I'll take it for 1 gold.
Okay, and then you also see her pull out a frame as you give her. She's like, "This one, or would you like to give me a different one?" Kidding. Hands you back your gold piece. Takes the gold piece, puts it into a shadow box. Gingerly hangs it onto the wall. I haven't even had my grand opening yet. Already made my first gold piece.
I like Annabelle. I think we're gonna be friends.
So I have 1 cursed coin in a lead box. And I still have 99 gold on hand.
94. Oh wait,
No,
no,
no, no,
99.
no,
That's
no.
right. Yeah,
I have 99.
and then
on the-
95 in the account.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, 96 in the account because it was only 4.
Oh, that's
for
right.
the coin.
I forgot. Prime Restoration Member Day.
So we're still sitting good, and we have a go. All right, let's go back to the ship and go on our way.
I want to see if she's got any other cool stuff, man.
Well, all right, you can ask. I'll give you 5 minutes.
Got any other cool stuff, man?
Like, what are you looking for? That's a hard question. I mean, I've got lots of cool stuff. I've got, I've got healing potions. Those are 50 gold. Um, I've got, um, I've got uh, a staff of staff of striking. That is, um, that is 10,000 gold.
Oh, that's a little rich for our blood.
Yes, but I think that you'll want to come back for it. I mean, I can see that you have your knuckles look like they've been doing some business. Do you mostly use your hands? Work with your hands?
I'm a knuckle dragger.
I see,
Absolutely.
I see. But those that follow the way often can appreciate a good striking stick as well. And this comes with more charges than the usual staff of striking. And yeah, really
Well,
add
I'll
add
see
a
that
add a
gold.
add a bunch of pot.
Or am I the one holding all the gold?
I'm just looking.
I'm just asking.
Easy there, Dad.
I
You think this gold grows on trees?
That's exactly what I'm gonna
They do in the dwarven mine. They have gold trees.
There's also that moment, Whispering, that you realize that your entire retirement account that has grown to a just god awful amount of money, having a lifespan that has been longer than most fairies.
God bless compounding interest.
Right, exactly. But
It's in another world.
it is in another world. It is you're not really cash fluid, right? You don't have you're not very liquid
I
right
have
now.
Faerun Vipers. It's great.
But
Just outside of my
it's
reach.
hard. It's hard to be it's hard to be that rich and yet not have any access to any
Right.
of that money.
I'm not
So
looking for money or material
you,
possessions.
exactly, which is why you have so much of it. That's how you do that, right? You weren't spending any of your money, but you'd get it all the time, and you'd be like, okay, well, I'll just set this up. I'll go give it to somebody, and they
It's
can
gonna
do
come
it
in handy later.
right.
Wait and see.
Yeah, once you get a little dip into the other worlds, just want to reach your hand in,
Boop.
boop. So yeah, she has some other items. If you, I will say that each of you can, if later on you are like, um, oh, I really want one of these, and I'm like, oh no, that's not available. She has it. Each of
Annabelle's
you,
gonna be a good person to know.
Annabelle has one item that each of you want that I'm like, no, I don't want to give you that, and she will give it to you half off.
Okay.
Glad I helped her put up her sign.
Glad we helped her move there and get her shop set up.
Yep.
I'm glad that we figured out the lead box.
Exactly. So we technically have 100 gold coins.
I don't think
But
we can
one's
count
cursed.
that one.
No, I have it one cursed coin in lead box.
Okay.
I have it listed as such in my inventory.
Yep. There you go. While you're going back to the ship, or is there other stuff you want to do?
I mean, we got the coin figured out. I know you're itching to keep rolling.
I'm just itching to keep rolling because, again, I don't know what else we would get.
Yeah.
I mean, I might get some better armor at some point other than my light armor because my armor class sucks.
She seems like somebody though that if because there's while you're looking back out the store, you do notice another person walk by that has a burn mark on them. She might be somebody that you could ask about that, or if you don't want to get it from her, you don't have to.
Yeah, we should ask. You know, we already got a rapport with her.
Yeah, I'll have to ask her what's up with the burns.
Well, I haven't really been in town that long. But what I understand is that there hasn't been the best leadership
We're here.
here in Anthrop before. It used to be under the rule of the Corvinarvis family, but they had their little accident with Dad blowing his top, and it has been under the rule of different stewards of varying levels of competency. But this is where the Reaper movement had started. The idea that the Magi were corrupt individuals that were just stealing the gold of the people, and so that fizzled out pretty hard after the death of the Corvinarvis family. But once with the new news that it was not anti-Magi terrorists that blew up the Raven Tree Manor, and that it was actually, surprise, surprise, magic users that had blown themselves up using their magic. People got pretty heated in this area. There was, especially in this quarter, there was demonstrations, people getting unruly, and they brought in a new steward, and he has had a very decisive way of dealing with any type of, he calls it insurrection. He makes public displays of punishing individuals, and they get to wear around the consequence of dissent.
What's his name?
His name is Cedric Forge. So glad you asked. I didn't really want to give you this picture that I made of him. Here he is. Yes. Cedric Forge. Yes.
I spelled it right the first time.
I thought you said Secret Forge.
Cedric. No, he is not a secret. He is actually an administrator for House Windsor. I'm not sure if you know what an administrator is. You've heard this term before. It's the Magi families will have individuals that they essentially, kind of like the hand of the king, right? That they grant power to handle problems for them. And what's nice about these individuals is that they can be somewhat insulated from it, like, hey, go and handle this problem. Oh, I didn't realize he was going to handle that problem like that. He's fired. But they knew full well what they were bringing in when they brought it in. So he's there has been a lot of unrest that you've heard about in the city of Anthro. People demonstrating, people refusing to pay taxes, saying that they are not going to be attending the restoration celebration, because that is like like you've already found out how much the glowing spheres are that they let loose in during Restoration Day, a celebration of defeating evil and being able to keep it at bay. But all of the proceeds of those spheres go toward the Magi colleges and the defense of the outposts for that guard the against invasions from the wild. And
keep this place in our thoughts.
And
Maybe no, just
well,
thoughts.
Well, the thing is
come back and
is that you
maybe do a little
is that you also know that Ricky Spanish, who was a part of the Raven Tree trio, they went and found out this information about what had happened to the Corvinarvis family, that they had not been that the entire family had not been wiped out by a terrorist attack, but had instead been decimated by the dad realizing that his children were after his power, and that they had been. He thought that both of them were complicit in the death of his of their mother, his wife, and that had understandably it had already devastated him, and now he had someplace to put his anger. But the magic that he had pulled from the Shadowfell or Shadowfell adjacent and Fey realm had backfired and created a rift that split the house into essentially three parts. This was that story that Ricky Spanish had talked about. But you also found out from Ricky Spanish and from Drunks that Priscilla was coming back to Anthrope to start to take her position as the Lady of Anthrope, because that was the traditional position of House Corvinarvis, but there hasn't been anybody of the House Corvinarvis persuasion. So House Windsor has graciously stepped up to the plate to help fill that void, but it has been slowly deteriorating. So Priscilla and the two from the Raven Tree Trio should be by now here in town and trying to set things right, and hopefully this Cedric fellow will no longer be his type of justice will no longer be needed.
Oh, he's gonna get what he's got coming to him, but not today, because we got to do.
We got to get our shipment done.
We got to get our shipment done.
So you get some lore dump. You've gotten a chance to get a item that I didn't think about you actually keeping the coin and then deciding that you could use it against other people. I like this.
You gave me that idea.
When did I say that?
You said that last time.
That's true.
I did?
You did.
I'm gonna
In
go back
fairness,
to the
you can
tape.
go back to the tape.
I'm gonna go back to the tape and find out if that's what I did. Because
You did.
well, I thought it was a genius idea. So yeah, I didn't realize it was mine. That's great.
Mhm.
I had given you too much credit.
I listen. It
I
doesn't
know.
always maybe appear that I'm listening.
No,
but I do.
greatly appreciate how much you listen.
Such a ruse.
It's really fun when you come up with great. You have these ideas of stories and everything like that, and it's like, and the only question is, do we level up and are we rolling initiative? Because I don't understand why. Why are you talking with your mouth? So get back onto the ship and start to head out in the direction of Gale Force. Flying over, you are able to see the countryside. Are you aware of where Gale Force is at?
Right here.
Nope.
That's not Gale Force?
It is not. That is
I thought-
Windsor. So
Oh,
you fly
Gale-
over. You fly over
Gale
the.
Force is one more over.
Yep, you fly over the city
Right.
of Windsor, which would have been a good spot to stop and get ship repairs. However, a lot of the businesses that refit ships like this Kenku Captain's
Steve.
that do retrofits like on the Steven have gone out of business in Windsor because it's primarily dominated by Levitator, which is owned by the Beso family. That's where they've gotten most of their riches. But it's kind of trying to create a monopoly of the Levitator brand. Because you're going over the city, go ahead and roll a history check, Dave. And go ahead and roll an insight check.
I got an 18.
An 18. Okay. So there's something that you start to piece together as you're thinking about the attack on you from the pirates, and you're starting to think about, and as you're flying over Windsor and realize that this is the primary place where levitators are built, and you think about how much they dominate the field, and realize that no levitator ship has ever been attacked by pirates.
Okay.
And you can't remember, but there was someone that was essentially a a rival with Jefferson Bezos, um, who was killed by pirates. And it just seems like too many coincidences all centered. And now that you've actually had a chance to see this individual when him and Joffrey were interacting, you realize how kind of cutthroat he was with his, kind of just he just seemed like a dickish kind of an individual, right? Just pompous and full of himself. And you think about your comment of we want to support small business, and a business mind, which you've never really had, but that has given you a special perspective on it. You start to realize, wait, they're undercutting the price of every business. They're going to, like, the only way that is profitable is if you take everybody out of business. Where did he learn this idea of taking out your competitors? And it's something to think about as you fly over the city of Windsor, which is the home of the Levitator Corporation and mostly controlled by the Bezos family. You continue on toward Gale Force. Gale Force is is right there at the border of the wilds, and so it actually had started out as primarily just an outpost, but it has grown into a larger city. I have a awesome picture of it, but I don't have it uploaded onto here, so we're just going to see in our minds a gated or excuse me, a walled city that has grown with additional walls around it, very very fortress like, and the majority of it is the hub of export and import, for the outposts. Most of the procurement of lapis stones all come from the wilds, right? They pull in these stones, from these areas that are very dangerous, but then we'll either take these large stones or break them into smaller stones and ship them all over Anthropy. You're flying in a ship that requires this. There's Restoration Day that's coming up, which requires these lapis stones. Also, from the lapis stones, there's always lightning storms happening in the wilds, and what has been identified is that the more that a lapis stone is hit with lightning, it will develop a crystallization on it, a crystal formation, which becomes the topaz crystal, which is capable of holding magic, right? Which was found out, not through Eureka, but more of a what the fuck, because tried casting lightning on it, to see what it would do, and it didn't do anything. Cast lightning on it, didn't do anything. Cast lightning on it, didn't do anything. And then there was, and it is proprietary information. Only the Tapas family knows it. But then a element was introduced to the stone that released all of the magical energy that had been given into it, and just destroyed the person that was working with it, and it took a few years before that was Heathcliff Lapis. It took a few years for his son to figure it out, but did so without blowing himself up, and has now created a pretty big name for themselves in the development of these crystals. But they're the only ones that know how to do it. Other individuals have tried to figure it out, and the Tapas family will often visit them at a Way of Mercy hospital, to let them know that was not the way to do it, and that they probably should have just stopped by the store and bought one, and stopped trying to figure out what their family does. All right, we have about 10 minutes left. You are coming into the city of Gale Force. Is there any questions that you have about everything that I've just dumped on you, or is there?
Not at the moment.
Okay. So as Stephen begins its descent down toward the pier, it appears that your contact that is going to be receiving the shipment is waiting there. A keeper of the watch. They have the designation of the, as opposed to the symbol of one of the cities, they have the symbol of a lightning bolt, which indicates that they have been a watcher at the wilds for over a year. You, for the first, I would say for the first time for both of you, you haven't had much business coming this far. You went east, right?
Right.
From Anthrop. You see the wilds for the first time, and it is just a cacophony of lightning storms at all times, and you can see these floating islands out there, and you just can feel the very, very, it's very, very obvious. This is not a place that you want to go. And it's still off in the distance. It's hazy, like you can see the mountain, the eastern spines or the western spines, but the flashes of lightning and the floating stones. You have heard stories from childhood of what kind of creatures roam in that area, and the idea of being as close to it as you are now kind of scares you a little bit. But then your rational mind takes over. You look down, you see the keeper of the watch, and standing next to him is your brother.
Thought he was in the other city.
That's where the family business is. But he works in security.
Okay.
So we'll find out what
my brother is doing in Gale Force when we return next week to Gale Force.
The Windy City.
Windsor is also Windy City.
So I've been rewatching Twin Peaks. And what I think is so funny about it, because there's little things I'm catching for the first time, and I don't remember this watching it as like, I remember watching the first season when I was a young person, but like how much there's a soap opera in Twin Peaks called Invitation to Love, but it reveals the whole plot of
Twin
Peaks if you watch the next time on Invitation to Love.
That is a fantastic Easter egg.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
So it's like on in the background, and if you pay attention to it,
it really does feed into.
It'll tell you what's going to
storyline.
happen. Yeah. It's like playing this week on Invitation to Love is so and so. She's playing Donna and her twin.
I've never seen Twin Peaks.
That's
I'm not
funny.
gonna lie to you.
I really want to get to it.
I now imagine
for The Return. I've heard The Return is absolutely fantastic.
Oh, really?
So like the first season is really good.
You know what I'd like even better though Gravity Falls. Have you ever watched
Gravity Falls is fantastic. I love Gravity Falls.
that? Leilani
Have-
loves Gravity
have
Falls,
you-
and when I saw her start to get into that, I'm just like, yes!
I have the Book of Bill and the Lost Journal. If you ever want to borrow those.
I would love to. I did not know that those were a thing.
My youngest, if we could, or my oldest, if we could have, but